Hello everyone, welcome to Lelystad for the Dutch 24 hours. And while we're looking at these beautiful images, the track is actually very wet. It's been raining all night and all morning, and only the last few minutes of qualifying the sun came out. So it's gonna mean a wet track for the start of this 24-hour race. Now looking at this track, we have 9 corners and 6 of them going to the left, 3 of them going to the right. Now there is gonna be no elevation, only 0.4 meters, very flat, but quite a few overtaking opportunities. The maximum speed here is 85 kilometers, but we're probably not gonna get that in the wet. Maybe when later in the race we get some dry lines that might be reached. Good overtaking opportunities, but any corner in the wet can be an overtaking opportunity, of course. Now there's gonna be a Le Mans style start, meaning the drivers will be opposite of their kart on the starting grid. They'll run to their kart and we'll switch to that quite soon. Then you can see what it will look like. We're gonna be starting from P30. I'm driving for the Smederij, so switching over. Here we go, we're ready for this start. We're just waiting for the flag to drop. Now I'll be a bit late because someone's counting down 3, 2, 1. But also there is someone with a flag. They said you should wait for the flag, but we all went on 1 except me. So we're ready to go, we're ready to start. We're looking at that flag, we go and we run to our kart as quickly as we can. We're just a little bit late, and that means when we get in the kart and drive away, we get hit from the left actually, but we managed to save the kart. We go on the grass a little bit, but there's more people on the grass on the left and we overtake them. Now during this first lap I decided not to be too bold. You can't win this race on the first lap, so we're just gonna stick behind people, see what the best place is to put the kart, just not spin out, and we're just looking for any room we can put our kart in, because the track is, as you can see, quite wet. Although the sun is shining, it has been raining all day, so we have to be careful because there's no grip at all. But I see a little room opening up, try to put our kart there, but the understeer actually gets us into that kart, but that makes sure we get into that room. Now as you can see, 4 or 5 wide on this little straight, trying to just pick up some positions. We do actually pick up some positions through the inside, but that's the outside for the next corner. And there we go, we're actually losing a few positions through the corner. Although there's more grip on the outside, there's many people fighting. It's gonna be the whole way through this heat, or this stint. 45 minutes of absolute chaos. We're doing 45-minute stints with this team now. You can see how wet it is. We're on slick tires and you just can see the spray coming off them. Going onto the straight, we actually do the overlay and you can see my position. Yes, it wasn't doable to keep my position updated, especially later when lapped traffic is also a thing, but it's absolute chaos. It's gonna be this. The whole 45 minutes are gonna be absolute chaos, just fighting the whole way through. And as you can see, we are already getting in some battles on the outside now, and there's actually a big puddle, so someone kicks up some spray. I kick up some spray as well. We're on the inside, that's going to be very difficult to brake. We actually have to use them kind of as a brake, but it was 3 wide, so no way that I was going to get out of there alive without braking like that. We actually get put off track, and that cost us 4 positions, so that actually cost us massive amounts of time just because we went a little bit wide. We got pushed wide, and now we're back into this amazing fight that is going to be the whole way through. I keep repeating it because it's just, looking back at this, it's just incredible that for a 24-hour race, this 45 minutes are absolute chaos. We sent it down the inside. We wanted to send it down the inside of 1 person, but it's gonna be 2 because it's just that slippery and you're just not slowing down this straight. Normally flat out. If you're not flat out now, you actually get some oversteer, so you have to be careful. You can just about do it if you're on the normal racing line, but we're gonna have to be careful. As you can see, there's quite a lot of glare on this lens because the sun is shining, but that's not gonna be for the whole 24 hours. Of course, it's gonna be night and it's gonna be dark, but there's also quite a lot of rain forecast for this 24 hours. So we're gonna have different conditions in every heat. I'm gonna show you. One heat is unfortunately unusable, or one stint I should say is unusable, because the lens just gets too dirty. You can't see anything. This heat, there's gonna be a little bit of dirt, but it's gonna be fine. You're gonna be able to see what's happening, and we are joining this battle in front of us once again, and we're looking on the inside of this kart. Can't quite manage to do it. A little bit of a bump actually when we bounce off the curb, and that means we gain a little bit more speed. Looking defensive on the inside, we're actually tiptoeing around this corner. We're side by side. That guy is great launch though, and there we go. We're trying to switch to the inside now. That turns to the outside of the first corner, of course, and we can't quite get past. It's gonna be really difficult to get past people. That doesn't mean people are not gonna try, so someone's gonna try down my inside right now, but of course if we stay on the outside the next corner, we have the inside. So we just maintain that position, and there we go. They're almost 3 wide in front of us, and you can see how wet it is. We're trying just down the inside, follow them through, get a bit wide though, and we're right back in this battle. Switch to the inside, trying to follow the next guy through, hit him a little bit because we get hit from behind, so we give him a little bit of a push. We also get almost pushed off circuit. Now we're trying to on the inside stay there. We get a big hit from behind, and we actually throw up the head. A little bit annoyed we didn't get a penalty for that, but that was not a way to make a move there. There was no room there. Now we have a little bit of a slide through this corner as well, so everything going on, but now a little bit of room in front of us, a little bit of room behind us, and the first time we have to take a little bit of a breather, relax, settle down, and try to get into a rhythm, trying to follow a little bit of a dry racing line that is slowly forming throughout this stint. It's gonna take a little while before it's getting really quicker, because it's still, of course, almost 15 seconds my quickest lap time from last year, 42.1, so it's definitely still a lot slower than last year, and we're gonna see if we can even get close to that this day. But we steer in early, we get a little bit wide, still looking for what the wet lines are. I definitely should be trying those wet lines, and we're gonna slowly throughout this 24 hours learn how to do that. Now someone gets through on the inside though, and we're gonna try to follow his lines. He's a little bit quicker than us. Maybe we can learn from him, because that's definitely something I'm trying to do, trying to learn from the people that are quicker. And so we will be sticking behind him through this straight. There's a little bit of a gap forming, but we can close up through the corners, use him to get quicker and see what the quick lines are, and then we'll see what we can do. Now for the next stints, I'll tell you what happened in between, and at the last stint I'll tell you what happened at the end. For now I can't, of course, because this is the start, and the guy in front of me actually has a big slide. We're closing up, so maybe he is not that much quicker, and we're gonna try and overtake him again. The lap times are coming down now in the 53s, not that much quicker, but definitely gaining some grip. Now this corner on to the left and the next corner to the right is going to be the most slippery corners throughout this day, throughout this 24 hours. Are going to be the last ones to dry out when it gets dry, so that's something to watch out for. Even though this corner is in the dry, it gets a lot drier quite quickly, so that is really good. But the guy in front is taking a weird line through this corner. I have a little understand, actually tap him on the back, and we actually spin him round, half spin. He can go on, of course, that's good, and we were stuck behind him, so we lose a few positions. Of course, it doesn't matter for the position tracker because it's on. Yes, but that's okay, because we really don't know. While I was in the kart, I had no clue where I was, just trying to do my best, looking at my lap times. Now we have some communication with the pit, but it was not working half of the time, so that's unfortunate. To reuse pit boards to know for sure when we have to stop. They'll always be out for 10 minutes remaining, 5 minutes remaining, 3, 2, 1 minute remaining, and then eventually box. And you'll see that on the right when we're passing the start finish line, but we are getting involved again in this battle. A little bit of understeer though through that corner, takes a little bit more time out of it, but definitely seeing that the wide lines are quicker throughout this part of the lap, and also through this corner, still trying to take a little bit of a middling line. It does work out quite well. You have to really wait till the tires grip up, then you can control quite quickly, quite hard, but you have to wait until that grips there. Just waiting until you have the grip, trying to get on power as early as possible. But going on to the start finish straight, someone actually goes really defensive, goes all the way to the left. I don't really know why he would do that. Gives the guy behind him an opportunity to just pull alongside, and now he's fighting him again. So maybe he had a loss of grip and just tried to do something, tried to find some grip, but that's even wetter than the racing line, so that's not going to work out. My lap times are actually improving, a 52.8, a new quickest lap, so the track is slowly drying out, but we're not below 50s, so definitely not that dry yet. Still trying to maybe make a move on the guy in the yellow. The guy in front of us slowing him down, definitely going defensive, blocking him, but he goes down the inside. Guys goes wide. We try to follow him through there now side by side, but as you can see, that outside line has a lot of grip there, and when you get on power you get a lot more response on the throttle than when you're on the inside, so that's interesting to see. And now we're gonna try to do that ourselves to maintain position, or maybe even overtake on that wet line. But as you can see, a little bit of oversteer through the final corner actually cost us quite a few kart lengths, 2 kart lengths to the guy in front of us, and we're trying to maintain as much speed as possible. He slides it really a lot through this corner, but we go off circuit actually, and we actually go onto the rubble strip at the exit there, but luckily there's enough grip for us. Now there's someone very slow. He made a mistake probably, or maybe some lap traffic. He does seem quite quick, but we are gonna try and overtake, and someone from behind actually now tries to overtake me, so we're getting into more battles here. We actually get a bump from behind, we bump the guy in the yellow, and now we're side by side. So I do think he just made a mistake, lost some positions. We're on the outside now. We can't get the same grip the guy had the last lap, so that's a bit unfortunate for us, and that means we're not overtaking while the guy in yellow has overtaken. We're right behind though, but we have a lot of oversteer, and again lose a few kart positions. Through that corner we go down the inside, or we try to look there, no contact, good move, but not enough grip, and a little bit of a mistake for me through that lap. So I hit the steering wheel because I'm a bit annoyed. I want to do better, but I can see a big train in front of me right now. There's a lot of people that we're catching up to, maybe some lapped traffic that's a little bit slower, but we can see that they are definitely slowing down the people in front of me. So we are trying to catch up there, going side by side. It's taking lots of time out of their race, and that's good for us. We're trying to catch up. Of course, we have a little bit of time to make up. We are a few kart lengths back, and we have someone on our outside. Actually didn't notice them until the footage, but we're trying to do our best. They're trying to do a switch back, trying to follow us, but we are quick enough. Someone goes really wide, we actually go wide as well, hit that curve, and that sends you just wide. There's more grip on the outside. They should learn that by now, but it's gonna take a little bit more. We do take this corner quite good, and then we are right on the back of some of the traffic, and we actually sent it down the inside of one, actually two people. We have a slide, that was an accident. We actually wanted to overtake one person, but we lost it under the brakes, and luckily there was someone that kind of caught us, so we didn't free spin. But we're now trying to catch up to the guy in yellow again. The guy in front of us also sends it down the inside. They're battling, and that sends me an invite to actually try it around the outside. Not quite there, so we're gonna try around the inside for the next corner. A little bit of a short straight, of course. We give him a little bit of a bump, so he has a little bit more speed. That's unfortunate. We still send it down the inside, get a hit from behind, but we do make it work, and now we are up to the next bit of traffic. I don't know, it's two people right in front of me, just trying to do my best, trying to not get overtaken and have the best pace I can. You can see me taking the wet line here now. It's getting a little bit more difficult to see. As you can see, a little bit of a haze over the screen. That's because it's getting quite wet, but still good enough to see, even though the sun is also shining. We're going to try down the inside probably of this next guy. We brake a little bit later, and then there we go. We go through, we get another hit, but we are through now, so that's us up a position, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. We're still quite close to our personal best. Our last lap being a 53.1, our best a 52.8. Let's see if we can improve. It's of course quite difficult with this traffic or with this fighting. You're gonna lose a lot of time, or at least a little bit of time, when you're overtaking people like that. So we're looking down the inside actually of this guy with the yellow helmet. We do have a little bit of oversteer. We get a hit, another hit, so that's 3 hits in about 1 lap, and we're going through the next corner. We're actually getting another hit in the back, so someone is definitely trying to get quicker, and there are lots of people behind me trying to overtake, so they're going down the inside. Now we have someone, we don't have the grip on the outside, so we lose 2 positions actually, and then someone on the left, but he can't quite make it stick. So we're just trying to battle this, trying to not lose these positions and have to fight for them. Again, going through to the final corner, we tried to make a move, a little bit of a tap, but then someone has a bit of a mistake, and there's just 3-4 cars coming together, and on the right the guy in yellow actually gets through. That's a good move from him, trying to follow him through. We did gain some positions, and we're looking down the inside of the first corner. The guy in front of me sliding his car all the way through, and again sliding, so you can see how wet it still is. Someone actually jumps the curb, tries to get on the inside, but I'm on the inside for the next corner. Just switch back. Someone else though with a blue helmet there, so there's lots of action, and we're on the inside. No grip, we slide wide, but that means actually no one can really do anything, and we're still maintaining that position. Now we're gonna try to catch up to the people in front of me. We're still also fighting with the people behind, so it's very busy on track. Lots of things still happening, even though we are about 10 minutes 12 minutes into this race. We are still just battling for our life, just trying to get through. I hope there will be a little bit of an easier stint, and the later stints are gonna be easier because there's not gonna be as much traffic, as much fighting, and we are actually going through this corner. We get a bit of a slide, we get taken out actually. Someone hits us in the back, we have a half spin, we lose some positions I guess, and we're still fighting with him. He's still fighting for position. Would be good if he gave it back because he spun me out, but he isn't. I'm gonna try to force him on the inside and go to the outside, and it does work out. He's still there though, so we're gonna have to fight him just like last lap. We're on the outside turning to the inside, making sure he can't do a switch back. He does try though, and we actually have to fight it again because he's still there again. We squash wide through this corner, making sure he can't get through, and there we go. But yeah, I of course don't know if any of this is for position. Maybe I'm fighting with someone who is lapping me, but we don't know, so we're just doing everything we can to maintain speed, go as quick as we can, and just try to follow people who are quicker, but also try to keep them behind. Now a little bit of a mistake through the left or right, a little bit of oversteer, lose a lot of time to the guys in front and have to look behind. But we can also see slightly a dry line appearing now on the track. As you can see, the gray is a little bit more dull here, a little bit less shine, so it's definitely getting quicker and definitely getting a little bit drier. So hopefully it will be dry at the end of this stint. Now we get on the curb on turn 1, we actually hit the wall, and then the guy in blue gets invited in on the inside, so we're fighting again. We're trying to switch back again, but on the inside we have a lot of understeer. Now he's on our outside, on a place where he hasn't been. He's in front of us, but we are on the inside. It's a really wet though, so we can't really stop the cart. We're still in front of him, but he's now gone on the outside, turning to the inside here. We're trying to fight him. He actually gets a slide on, and we're side by side. I think he's getting a little bit annoyed with the fighting. We're trying to hold it. We get a hit actually, and that's quite a big hit. I think it's from him, and that's really annoying. And he gets through by hitting me, so that was annoying. I was annoyed by that move, but we can't do anything about it. Head down and getting back into the swing. I don't know if he hit me or someone else. He actually has a slide though through the final corner. We just do the same, because when you're behind someone, it's really easy to do the same when you pick the same breaking point. We're trying to catch back up again. We're almost similar on pace. Let's see if we can catch up. Now these first two corners in the dry you kind of treat as one corner. In the wet you really have to treat them as two corners. Just turn into the first and wait a little bit, get a little bit on throttle, and then go for the second corner. That's how I'm treating it. It's working out quite well. I'm one of the quickest. I actually hit the puddle there as well, so there's going to be a little bit more water on the lens. Maybe it's cleaning it a little bit, but yeah, we have some room behind us, some room in front of us. First time really there, it's going to take a little bit longer for any traffic, so we're going to see how long it takes, and then we'll be back with you. If you're enjoying this video, leave a like, comment what I can improve about my wet or weather driving. And as you can see, the guy in front of me actually had a little bit of a mistake, so we're catching up slowly. He is kind of maintaining the gap, so that's a little bit annoying. I would like to catch up and have a battle with him, but yeah, we're doing really well. The first time that we've had 2 laps where we just can do our own thing, just try to experiment with lines, not being busy with fighting with people around us, but we do have someone actually right behind us, and when we're looking to the left we actually have someone right there, probably someone who's lapping us because he seems quite a bit quicker, goes down the inside, and now we're gonna try and switch back and probably follow his lines because he seems to be quicker, but we have someone else diving down the inside, so again a little bit of chaos. He apologizes, so that is good, and we're just trying to follow them. They definitely seem to be quicker and trying to get quickly past me so they can do their own race. Now the guy with this helmet right in front of me seems to be the slower of the two, but I'm not quite sure. There were quite a few pro teams that were quite a bit down the order, qualifying below not us, but a lot of other teams, because they were quite slow in the wet. Maybe they don't have weather specialists. They're getting to the front now though, so we are definitely gonna lose out to them, and they are getting through, but that's fine. We're just trying to do our best. They are fighting actually now with the guy in front with the blue helmet. He seems to be quite quick, and now we are in a train of 4 cars. They are quicker than me though, and they are fighting, so that invite me in. And now the guy in red kind of gets pushed wide by the guy in the blue helmet. He actually sends it down the inside, gets annoyed. The other guy is trying to find a way through, but somehow they are still maintaining speed. Maybe I'm a little bit cautious, so I don't want to get tangled up, but that also means I'm losing time, and now someone's right behind me. I don't want to lose my position, so we're going to send it through this section, and we are catching up, but they do seem a little bit better with their right foot. Now the 2 guys that lap me are now in front, and the blue helmet is right in front of me. They're taking normal lines. It seems the racing line is slowly getting quicker, and we're looking at the lap time. We still haven't improved our personal best, although it seems to be getting drier. We hit that curb that sends us out wide. We're close to the guy in the blue helmet, and as you can see, just lapped traffic can cause absolute chaos, because someone with a yellow helmet right in front of the 2 guys in front of me, which is kind of confusing, but sure, is also holding them up. Now they get through. He slides, and I'm looking, can I go down the inside? He's using one of the track's own suits, so that's definitely someone who's not that experienced compared to the guys with their own suits and helmets. So we are going to try to overtake very, very quickly. So we're going to dive down the inside of the next corner, wait for the grip to pick up, and go on throttle. Now there's someone on my left, on my inside, but we can take this corner normally, but we're going to be losing position to him. We have to brake because of the blue helmet, and that's unfortunate. We get a hit in the back, because he's definitely quicker than us, and he's going to actually send it down the inside through this corner. There he goes. He's probably a pro, or at least someone who's a lot quicker, so we're not going to find him too much, but of course he's on our inside for the next corner, so we're just going to stick there. We're trying to slot in behind as soon as we can. He's just not quite in front of us, so we can just kind of stick with him, but then through this corner we're sticking behind, hoping he can attack the blue helmet, and if he attacks the blue helmet, maybe slow him down or anything. He actually goes down the inside of the next corner. They have a little bit of contact. They slow down definitely, but the blue helmet is still fighting it a little bit, but not that much, and we're right back up to the blue helmet. He does seem a little bit quicker. He looks behind him though. Maybe he wants to fight. He doesn't want to lose position to me. He probably knows if it's for position. My communication doesn't work, so I'm relying on the pit wall. I don't know my pace, but I'm just doing everything I can right now. But we are going to be letting my team know that I can't hear them, because they have not said anything. I asked them to keep me updated, to slide through the final corner side by side, just a better drive. For the guy in the blue helmet is a bit unfortunate, tapping on the side of my helmet. I can't hear you, or I haven't heard you. Can you talk to me? Otherwise, let me know through one of the boards how I'm doing, because I want to be updated. Eventually, I think I did hear them, but they can't understand me on the radio. I don't quite know, but they can talk to me, but they are not talking to me, or I can't hear them. One of the two is gonna be annoying for the rest of this race actually, and we're gonna have to figure it out for next year when we're coming back as this same team for our 3rd time. So stay tuned for that. The guy in blue actually goes wide, but it does give him more drive, so I can see the difference between the inside line where you can kind of send it, then have to wait on the throttle, or the outside line would seem to be getting a little bit quicker. It's getting a little bit drier, which does suit my style more. Again, taking that inside line, having some oversteer and having to slot in behind him, and that's left me a lot less speed through the straight, but again getting close to my personal best. But looking at the times that the other teams are doing that won the race, they are doing 52s and 51 lap times. 51s are a little bit rare, so we are definitely in the ballpark or close to the pace, about a second a lap off of the leaders, or at least the people who won this race. So that is actually quite decent, I think, because being a second off in these conditions while I've barely driven in the wet is quite nice. We make a mistake, have some oversteer, and we're fighting now with the people that were behind me, or the guys behind me now. Helmet having the better line, we have to kind of make sure we slow down, get to that line, and there's a good switch back, so that's a position lost, or maybe we're lapped. I still don't know. The positions are changing all the time. We're just doing everything we can, like I said before. And again, someone goes down the inside of the next guy as well. So a beautiful move there, and we're just gonna slot in behind. They seem to be quite a bit quicker than me, so we're just gonna follow them, try to copy their lines, and make sure that we get quicker and quicker when we are following them, or at least try to, because they are fighting as well, slowing each other down. So if they're fighting and slowing each other down, we can maybe get in the mix, maybe overtake them again, and try to drive away while they're fighting, but they are quick. We get actually almost put into the wall. He just cut across. We were still alongside. That's a bit naughty of him, so we're gonna dive down the inside. If he's gonna be aggressive, then I'm gonna be aggressive as well. So we're just down the inside. Look where he's still on the left, so we're trying to push him to a shallow line that he has no grip, but he actually used a good move. We can do the switchback. You can see that the outside line has more grip, and we're side by side again to the left or right. Now we're getting pushed wide a little bit, and he just pushes off track. I'm annoyed with that because he didn't leave us any room, just tried to push us into the tire. So we're again fighting him, and the guys in front of us are getting a little bit further away now because he is still behind us. We're gonna fight him with everything we have if he's gonna push us off track, because I didn't like that move, and we're just gonna see if we can keep him behind. We actually are catching up to the guys in front that are fighting again, so that is also quite good. Now we have a little bit of understeer. He has a better run, but we're still in front. We take a shallow line in. That gives him the opportunity though to try for a switchback. Doesn't quite work out, but then dives it down the inside of the next corner. Has a bit of oversteer, again pushes us a little bit wide. We're slotting behind, and we're gonna see if we can dive down the inside again. A little bit of contact, but we are side by side again, getting a little bit aggressive because he is also aggressive, and there we go. But we're still not done because he does have a better run. We have some understeer through the right hander, meaning he's probably gonna try to set up a move to the hairpin at the end of the lap. So here he comes down the inside, even though there's not really any room. Barges me kind of out the way, but that also means that we have some more drive out of the corner. So this is kind of an ugly fight, and actually costing us quite a lot of lap time because we're in the 54 lap times. We have a lot of understeer going through corner 2 and corner 1, and we're still trying our best, trying to do anything we can. No one is still under that 50 seconds lap time, and goes in front of us again. He hits us. Really annoyed how he overtakes and then makes contact there, because I just was doing my line and just steers in, make sure we contact, but he has oversteered through this corner. So we're just going down the inside again, a little bit of contact. Don't know who it was. Looking behind, there's quite a lot of people behind me. The guy in that helmet is probably getting annoyed, and we get a big hit from behind, someone braking later, and now there's 3 cars going through, going 3 wide. Really being annoyed by the guy that has been annoying me for a few laps now, but we do have a little bit of more drive, and we're actually gonna do the same he did to me the last lap. So we're just gonna go down the inside, use him a little bit as a brake, and then we're right in front. Now we're gonna cut in front of him, making sure he can't just overtake there. So a little bit of an ugly fight there, and still not done, costing us loads of lap time though. 55.9, that's not good. And going through the first 3 corners, he is still there on the outside, probably gonna try to do a switchback, and if he gets past, he'll probably just drive away, but he gets annoyed again. He's tapping his helmet. I'm like, what are you doing? And we're still down the inside. Maybe he wants to work together, but I do think he's just annoyed, and now he's actually through there, so that is good for him, and probably he's gonna drive away now. That was the fight we had. Annoyed for him because he is of course quite a lot further back from where he was from the guys that are in front of us. So there's actually quite a lot of people in front. He makes a mistake, we make a mistake as well. We just copy him, and we try to avoid him, not to hit him in the back, but that costs a little bit of time. But as you can see in front of us, a lot of people, a lot of lap traffic, or a really big fight, because that guy that we're overtaking now actually was in front of us and did overtake us a few laps ago. So again, the blue helmet also in front of us. So as you can see, probably the traffic being really difficult, and the guy that we've had the ugly fight with is now still in front of us, and we're again fighting him. So everyone just being annoyed, and he probably wants to work together. I actually gave him a tap. That was on accident. I actually put my hand up because I get a tap from behind from someone else. Now the guy in front of us in the red is actually lapped traffic. He's drifting through the next corner. He's definitely not that quick, so we're gonna have to overtake him as quickly as possible, and then see if we can just drive away the guy in the orange helmet that is almost pushing us off track there. That's annoying, but he's getting into the fight with the red shirt guy, and now we are trying to overtake them. He is going defensive actually, so no one can get past, but the guy gets past on the inside. 2 people on the inside. I'm on the outside though, but we are just side by side. He gives us enough room, does push us onto the curb a little bit, but it's dry enough that we don't spin out. And there we go through the traffic, and let's see if we can do something and improve our lap time now, because we should be getting a little bit quicker. The guys in front of me are getting away. Maybe the guys that are stuck behind the traffic can catch up with me, and we'll get into a fight with them, but we'll see when we get there. those were nice 1.5 laps just about, but someone's just half spun there, just get right in front of him. But we're still trying to figure out these wet lines because it's kind of drying but not dry enough, so it's definitely difficult to just feel where the grip is, and I've not had that many clean laps, so you can see that I'm sometimes still on the inside, sometimes on the outside trying a wet line, and again here going to the inside it's a dry line. You have to wait until there's grip, so someone now right behind us, I must say, so that's annoying for me because I was really enjoying these couple of laps where there was no one there. But that is just what it is to have a 24-hour race with 35 teams. There's lots of people there, and going through the wet line through the hairpin, we have someone on our inside now. We're gonna try to fight it as long as we can, but we're not gonna lose as much time as we have with that fight early. We go actually wide, have a lot of understeer through the first 2 corners. That means someone is gonna probably try a switchback here because we're not on a good line, and there actually goes one of the guys behind us. There's a lot of people behind me actually, so that's quite interesting that we're kind of holding up a lot of people. So someone's a bump from behind, get pushed side by side with me, but we're still in front of the gaggle of carts right behind me. I can't quite see how many of them there are. We're just doing our thing. Again, I take the dry line, and you can see it's not working. For the next stint, probably be able to take the wet line, or I will have learned to take the wet line, but for now I'm still kind of struggling with it. Of course, this is like the 3rd time I'm driving in the wet, and it's quite difficult. But there's someone again trying it on the inside through the hairpin, can't quite make it work. And through these first 2 corners, you have to kind of take it as 2 corners instead of 1, which you normally do, because it is quite wet, and I'm quite good through these corners. So through these corners they can't really do anything, but from the right hander turn 3 and these 2 left and right handers, the turn 4 and 5, I am quite slow and everyone's catching me there. So you can see they're fighting side by side, trying just to overtake me. There's just not quite enough room, they're not quite quick enough, so they're just still stuck behind me. I'm also quite defensive, taking these normal lines instead of the wet lines. They are good for keeping people behind, so that's quite interesting how that works, and definitely something we can keep in mind for later if we ever need that information. Again, for now just trying to do our best. But going through this final corner, we're going onto the start finish straight, and actually my team has got a sign out 15 minutes, meaning 15 minutes left in this stint. We've had about a 30-minute drive, and now we are going for the final 15 minutes, and then we're gonna go into the pit and we're gonna switch drivers. We have to do a lot of pit stops at this race. I believe the minimum amount is 30, and that means we're gonna have to do one more than every hour, because of course if you do one every hour then you have 24 pit stops. But we get overtaken there, we get a big hit from behind. Someone in a red helmet hits us from behind, so that's a little bit annoying. I do not mind being overtaken. That guy had a clean, good move. Of course the guys behind me might be a bit annoyed that I'm holding them up. We do have an interesting line though through this left or right going to the final corner. We are going to try to follow the guy in front. He seems to be quite a bit quicker, and if I can follow him, copy his lines, maybe we can set a personal best. We're doing quite decently, and the guys behind me can't really make an impression as of yet, meaning that we are still right in front of them. They are of course right behind me. Any silly or little mistakes will make sure they can get past, so we're just gonna have to do our best. We're gonna have to lean through the corners, make sure we get nice and clean exit. We make a mistake, had a little bit of oversteer on exit. We have someone on our outside because probably gonna try a switch back. Well done, good move there, and that's another position lost, and someone else going down our inside. A little bit of contact, but he is through there, so that is 2 people that are a little bit quicker than me. Of course we do have about 20 people in front of me and about 15 people behind me, according if we're around place 22 right now, so that means about 20 people are actually quicker on track right now. They are lapping me, and about 15 people that are slower, so more people that should be overtaking me, and we should just try and follow them. I do seem to be quite on the pace of the guy in blue in front of me. He does have better drive though out of the corner, so he's definitely taking the lines a little bit better, going to the outside through turn 1 as well, doing really well. Gonna see if we can follow him and see if we can overtake some more people that are maybe a little bit slower or are lapped traffic. actually quite quickly we are getting overtaken by someone else, someone in a race suit with their name on them. So they're probably quite quick, trying to force us wide a little bit. Of course we can't go off track, but he goes through. We're gonna try to follow the train in front of us. Hopefully we don't get overtaken, but let's see. Actually, before we go going through the final corner, I make a little bit of a mistake, give him a little bit of a tap. Now he probably thinks that we're trying to overtake him again. He hops a bit for more speed, but yeah, we're of course not trying to overtake. He's definitely quite a bit quicker. We're gonna try to follow him, but that was a little bit of a funny mistake, I thought. Through this lap we've been keeping up quite well with the guy that overtook us, but now we have a lot of traffic. If someone spins right in front of us, we have to take avoiding action, and that means we actually get a little bit of a gap to the guy in front. We hope, because we kind of want to stay close to him because he's quite quick, and if we can keep following like we're doing right now, that means we will also get some quicker lap times. But again, there's also quite a lot of traffic in front of him, so maybe he gets slowed down by that, so we can catch back up to him. Not to overtake, of course. I just want to follow his lines because he's really quite quick, and that's something that I really want to copy, but it's really quite difficult. Now you see my hand coming off the steering wheel. My gloves are a little bit wet throughout this stint. I was not that wet, just my gloves, and they're quite cold, but that's okay. We're only about 10 minutes left before we have to jump out of the car, maybe a little bit more, but we're gonna see what we can do. And again, the guy now is out of my sight. I can't quite copy his lines, meaning he is actually gonna drive away from us. Now what I was not expecting is how quickly these stints were going by. When I was driving, I was a little bit afraid at first because the 1 hour race was really difficult, but with the lower pace and the easier steering of these carts, they're quite a little bit lighter in the steering department, meaning it was really easily done, and I actually thought I could drive one, maybe two more stints. Of course, I'm going to show you 3 of my stints. The 4th is just unusable. The footage is really bad. It just gets foggy and the lens just gets covered in dirt. You can't see anything, so we're not going to use that one. It was unfortunate because that was a really good, really beautiful stint, because it was the sunrise stint. So we're going to have to see if we can maybe get that stint next time. I'm going to do 2 more stints, 3 more stints, of course, but 2 more stints that I'm going to show you that are going to be in the night. They're going to be night stints. They're going to be real fun, although they are going to contain a little bit of flashing lights because the carts are of course under floodlights, and my GoPro was weird with the settings. I'm gonna fix it for next year if I can, but just know that the next 2 stints on this channel are going to have a little bit of flashing light. They were fun though, and we are actually catching up with a little bit of traffic. You can't quite see it yet. We have a yellow flag on the left, but there's a train in front of me of people. The guy in the yellow helmet is a little bit slower than the rest. I don't know if he held up the rest and they're just getting past him, or that they are also a little bit slower. We'll see. The first order of business, of course, is going to be trying to overtake that yellow helmet, and we are still using some dry lines through this corner. It definitely should be going wider. There's way more grip there, but for now he has a little bit of oversteer through the left, right, and now through the final corner. Can we overtake in the hairpin? We're a little bit further back than I wish, so we can't quite overtake, so we're just gonna have to wait. Maybe at the end of the straight, going to the first or second corner, we can try a move. He goes a little bit on the inside. We maximize our room, but there's not quite enough room. I want to dive down the inside, but I can't quite. I don't have enough grip. He goes wide through this corner too, and we actually do a switchback like we've had experience to us, and he's on the inside, but we should, with the wet line, just drive around the outside. There we go, and that's a good overtake there, but still quite a lot of people in front of me, some slow people as well, so there's definitely some more traffic coming up right now. So we are just closing up to them, trying to see if there is any opportunity to get past. We do take the wet line, you can go on throttle a lot earlier. You can see that we're actually having a lot more speed than the guy in the yellow helmet in front of me. Again, a yellow helmet, probably from the track, so someone that's not quite that experienced. We're gonna look down the inside now. We braking later, down the inside, and there we go, someone else, but he actually does a switchback. No, that is someone else in a suit that is also overtaking traffic with me. We actually also improved our personal best on the last lap, not this lap that we've just done, but the one before, so we are doing quite well. Now there's 3 people in front of me, they're battling, don't know if they're lap traffic, but they're losing time. Someone is on my outside, so we're gonna dive down the inside. We are actually accidentally making a move there, taking him out a little bit, but we do not get a penalty for that. We overtake, a little bit naughty there, but it was okay. Then someone in the yellow helmet tries to send it down the inside, even of me probably, but that was way too ambitious and it's not worked out. But we have someone else in front of us, so we're looking if we can overtake that person as well. Goes wide through the left right, and we are looking if we can do anything going into the final hairpin. Looking down his inside, probably we are quite a bit back. We're gonna lunge for it anyway. We have a little bit of contact though, a little bit naughty again, but he again gets a better drive, and we're looking behind us. We're hopping a little bit. We don't want to get overtaken right now because we are just trying to get past some traffic, and it would be a shame to get overtaken. We have a little bit of better corner. He dives on the inside though. That's a good move from the guy in the green helmet. We are still on his inside. Actually, he does probably a switchback, and there he is on the right, 3 wide now. The guy in the blue suit that has overtaken me quite a bit ago is there again, and now we have someone on our outside. But again, if we just take a normal line, we're probably gonna be fine. He's again trying a switchback, not quite enough space, not enough speed. Someone's stuck on the inside or the outside of the track there, just a car that stalled. Someone going to help them. We are now trying to catch back up to this guy in front of me. He is slow through the left right, but we also make a little bit of a mistake. Looking behind, we have someone on our inside. If he does try to make a move, he doesn't try to make a move though, so we can just take the corner normally, try to catch up to the guy in front. He does go wide, so we do have a little bit of space in front of and space behind us. With a few more minutes to go in this stint, we're trying everything to catch up. He goes wide, slides a little bit, and then we catch up massively. So there's only 2 kart lengths behind. Let's see if we can take the next corner quite well. We can. A little bit of oversteer like always, and we're again side by side with that guy behind us. Is he gonna try another switchback? He's probably going to, but we can't see where he is. 2 people behind us actually just trying to take this corner normally. Again, doing quite well. Someone with a yellow flag though, because that kart is stuck on track there, probably getting a new one, and still trying to get away from there. But we are catching up again through this left right. We're doing quite well, throwing the kart in, dealing with the oversteer. Now we're on the inside for the final corner, so we'll go down the inside, and there we go, another position for us, or someone overtaken. And we're just trying to do our best for these last a little bit more than 5 minutes. Now there's gonna be a lot happening during my first and my second stint. My second stint is only going to be late at night. The plan for now is 9 o'clock that I'll be back in this car. There'll be a red flag though between my sessions or between my stints, so it's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot of action happening for us on track. And we get overtaken by that guy in the helmet. He actually overtakes during yellow, so I'm signaling to a marshal because there was a yellow flag. You can only overtake when you're past the incident. I don't know where the incident is. It's over here, so that is definitely an overtake under yellow flags, which is a bit annoying, but we're still gonna try to catch up. And the guy in the blue suit is also right behind me. We seem to be quite on the same pace of the guy that is now in front of us. Maybe he's a little bit quicker, so let's see what we can do. But like I said, we are actually having a lot of action between my stints. I'll catch you up in the stint next week. I'll tell you all about what happened, so stay tuned for that one. Come back for that one. It's gonna be real fun. It's gonna be a drying track as well, so a lot of things that will be happening there, because we'll be quicker and quicker and quicker, and we'll set the quickest times that we will do during one of our stints there. But if you've made it this far into the video, you're an absolute legend, of course. But if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment to tell me how you think I've been doing, how I can improve my wet weather driving, because it's still not there, and subscribe to the channel as well. Now we are catching up with a little bit more traffic. Let's see how quickly we can overtake this person. We are almost overtaking him through the left-hander, so we're definitely gonna have to make a move soon, going through the left right. We're trying to switch back, someone on the inside though, so that doesn't work. A little bit of contact, but now we're on his inside. The guy in the blue is actually the one who pushed us a little bit, but that's fine, we're through. And now we are gonna try to work together. He's just side by side with me. We're gonna let him through because he's gonna be quite a little bit quicker than me, trying to follow his lines and then see if we can maybe set some quicker lap times. We are in the 52.6s. That is our quickest lap, so that's quite decent. And now we're looking to follow him through. He has a good line. He is actually also pointing ahead. Work together. I give him a little bit of a bump through this corner, actually 2 bumps, but I definitely do want to work together with him. No fighting. He does go defensive a little bit, maybe because of the taps, but yeah, we're definitely working together, not trying to overtake him, just trying to see where one of us is quicker and where the other one can kind of help them by pushing them along, maybe on the straight, although that is going to be quite difficult if we're this far back. So we're trying to catch back up to him. He has a bit of oversteer, so we're right on his bumper, but we will not overtake going into the final corner. We'll just make sure we stick behind, get a good exit. We have actually a little bit of a worse exit, so no pushing and no working together, but there's a sign out. 5 more left, but going through the first corner we have to take avoiding action. Someone's coming out the pit, we have to brake, and we hit the barrier. We are spun right around, but we don't lose that much time because we're not stuck. We can continue, but that is quite unfortunate, having had a real good stint, no big mistakes, and having some good lap times. We made a big mistake going through turn 1. Now we have wet tires as well. There was a lot of water in those tires that was kind of stuck there, so we're gonna have to be very careful not to get spun around again or spin around with these wet tires. We are gonna be pushing though 4 more laps after this one, so we can still do this, but yeah, that's unfortunate that happened. I wanted to avoid that person, not to crash into them, but that also meant that I had to brake, and it was really wet there, so it spun me around. That was an accident. It happened, so we're gonna try and overtake the guy that is, I think that was the guy coming out of the pit, not quite sure. It looks the same on the footage, but we're gonna drift through the final corner and I'm gonna come onto the start finish straight. Now if I sound a little bit different, I'm on a different recording day. I have a little bit of a sore throat, but it's not gonna matter. We're just gonna try our best, push on, and do these last 3 laps. Now the sun is getting out. You can see it's quite a lot of glare now, and in the kart it's a little bit more difficult to see. Now I do have a sun visor, meaning I can see quite well, although the track is still quite wet. We're gonna hand the kart over in a few laps to my friend Alon, I think, which means we're gonna tell him that the dry line is slowly starting to form, but there's still quite a lot of water on track, meaning he will be driving wet lines in the beginning of his stint and probably go onto the dry lines somewhere halfway through. Now we're just about a second slower per lap than the leaders of the field. They're in the 51s or 50 lap times, so they're not under the 50 lap times either, so they are definitely still trying to improve and trying to get this track a little bit wet. Now as you can see, we are making a little bit of a mistake in some of these corners still. It's quite tricky, these conditions, and in the next heat we're gonna actually be having a lot of fun on the drying track. That is gonna be real fun. Now we get overtaken though to one of the quicker guys. Let's see if we can follow him through. He did a beautiful move there around the outside, and for the next corner we're gonna have someone on our inside, and we brake late. We hit the guy in the back. He thinks that's the guy on his left, but it was us. Actually, I tried to apologize. He's kind of also waving his arm around. Don't really know what's happening. I'm trying to get out of the way. Just made a little bit of a mistake there, and we do apologize for that. I can't really now go and overtake and apologize. That would be a bit weird, and it would be an amazing dive for me if I could pull that off, but I can't. So I'm just gonna try to follow these guys through, and then we're gonna pit after this lap. We still have 2 more laps to go. We'll see the sign hang out, but there's someone on the outside of this corner. They are facing the wrong way. 2 people actually, so maybe they even had a crash. I don't know, I haven't seen it, but we can see on the right 2 more laps to go, and then it's gonna be us in the pit and gonna be switching drivers. Now we're gonna have to of course switch drivers quite a lot, and it's always a little bit weird that you're not in the kart. Of course it's necessary for 24 hours, but it's kind of, you have to give the kart to someone else and trust them to do a good job. Now I have a great team and a lot of friends on the Smederij, and they're gonna do a great job during their stint, everything they can, while it's still wet. A lot of people that haven't really driven in the wet, so it's going to be quite difficult for them, but they are going to do an amazing job, and there's going to be a lot of fun still to come. I'll talk you through, like I said earlier, everything that happened during the part where I wasn't driving the kart, but for now we're gonna catch up to a little bit more traffic, it seems, on our final lap of this stint. So going onto the start finish straight, there will be a sign, 1 lap still to go, and then we'll go into the pit, so right behind someone going through turn 1 and 2. They have a little bit of an oversteer moment, and as you will see, I'll also have a little bit of oversteer going through turn 2, but they're going real wide into turn 3, so we're on the outside trying to overtake. A little bit of contact, a little bit of oversteer from my part as well. They have their hand up, that's okay, it can happen. Now we're gonna be on the inside for the next corner. I have a little bit of understeer, meaning they're still side by side. We have a shallow angle going into the next corner. So a battle with someone for the final lap of this race. Now we're still on the inside for the next corner. Again, a shallow line. They do a good switchback, and that means they're through. Now for the next left right, there's actually gonna be a yellow flag there waving, meaning we can't overtake. So we're just gonna stick behind and wait for the final straight, and then we're gonna be into the pit. Now someone else stuck on that corner, so quite a lot of mistakes into the final hairpin there. But here we go into the pit, hand up, and then we can see where we are into the pit. They have a signal which color you kind of have to park, and then you have to go to that color. Now there's a 1.5 minute minimum pit stop time, so you have quite a lot of time. So we're gonna take it easy, and we're gonna move the transponder to the new person in the cart. I'm gonna take it. I'm also gonna walk to him and tell him the state of the track, just a little bit of information that it's gonna be drying out. It's still wet lines for now, especially in the back half of the circuit, and so he knows what to do. So I give the transponder to my teammate so he can give it to the new, or put it on the new cart. So thanks you guys for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed, like the video, and I will see you next week with the next stint of the 24-hour race. Lots of stuff still coming up. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.